My sister's baby shower invite said $5,000 gifts only. I brought a $50 Target card. Mom shamed me publicly, so I quietly canceled the $380,000 I was putting down on their dream house. Okay, buckle up, because I'm about to tell you about the day my entire world, the one I'd been meticulously building for my family, shattered into a million pieces. It was at my sister's baby shower, a day meant for joy, when my own mother publicly humiliated my 11-year-old son, and in that moment, something inside me just broke. Picture this, a rented event hall, all gaudy chandeliers and cheap carpet, pink balloons everywhere, the air thick with baby powder and fake smiles. My son, Noah, was sitting at a kid's table, a little island in the chaos. He's 11, quiet, careful, the kind of kid who still triple checks his homework and asks if he can hug you. In his lap was a crocheted baby blanket, a gift he'd spent 3 weeks making with our neighbor, a gift for his new cousin, Bean. On the table in front of every other cousin was a white gift bag labeled Cousin Crew. Inside, custom shirts, candy, little keychains. Every cousin got one. Except Noah. He looked around, a hopeful, confused little frown on his face, like maybe they just missed him. He even lifted the centerpiece, peering underneath. "Grandma," he asked my mom, his voice barely a whisper over the music. "Did mine get moved?" My mother didn't even look at him. Didn't even glance his way. She just said, "Oh, those were just for the real Cousin Crew, sweetheart. We didn't think you'd be here that much once the baby comes." The air went out of my chest. Just, poof. The room didn't go quiet, people just kept talking, laughing. But I watched Noah. He went absolutely still. His shoulders dropped half an inch, like someone had literally turned his volume down. He swallowed hard. "Okay," he whispered, pulling that handmade blanket into his lap, as if it could hide him. I should have left right then. Every fiber of my being screamed to grab my son and walk out the door. But I didn't. Instead, I walked over to my sister, Monica, handed her a small gift bag. Inside was a little box of baby clothes and a $50 Target card tucked into a plain white envelope. I tried to smile, tried to act like my kid hadn't just been told he wasn't real family. Monica opened the envelope. Saw the card. Confusion, then a flash of annoyance crossed her face. That's when my mom, who I now realize had been waiting for this, picked up her plastic champagne glass and tapped it with a spoon. "Everyone," she called out, too loud, "can I have your attention for just a second?" The room quieted. Heads turned. My cousin paused mid-refill of the punch bowl. My mom held up Monica's thick, gold-scripted baby shower invitation in one hand, and my little white envelope in the other. "When we sent these out," she said, her voice sugary sweet, "we put a little note at the bottom. Just a small thing. Gifts, $5,000 minimum." A few chuckles rippled through the room. Some people looked around, like, is she serious? She wasn't joking. "We have some very generous family," she went on, "people who understand that when family needs help, we step up." And then she looked straight at me, holding my envelope between her fingers like it was dirty. "Some people," she said, "just don't value family." The room actually froze that time. You could have heard a pin drop. Someone muttered, "Whoa." My aunt coughed. My brother looked at his shoes. And Noah? He heard it. I watched his ears turn bright red. He looked at me, his eyes full of that same confused pain, like he was trying to figure out what he'd done wrong again. I smiled. I smiled so wide my jaw ached, because if I didn't, I knew I was going to say something I couldn't take back. Then, I reached into my jacket pocket, pulled out my phone, and opened my banking app. The scheduled transfer glowed at the top of the screen, $380,000. A down payment. For their dream house. Let me give you some context. I'm Daryl. I'm 41, a litigation attorney in Charlotte. I handle commercial cases, contracts, real estate disputes. I'm divorced, got one kid, Noah, my world. We live in a brick townhouse, nothing fancy, but it's ours. Noah picked the paint for his room, blue-gray walls, bookshelves we built together. My parents, Linda and Robert, live 20 minutes away. My younger sister, Monica, 36, is the undisputed golden child. She's an influencer light, married to Ethan, a guy who sells luxury outdoor kitchens but never seems to have actual money. Me? I was always the responsible one. Translation, the one with steady income. It started small. A $1,000 loan when Dad's truck died. Then paying off a surprise $8,700 credit card balance. When my first big case settled, I slipped them $10,000 for their kitchen. They bought a 75-inch TV. Monica's wedding? They cried to me about not affording the venue. I wired $25,000. When her IVF didn't work the first time, another $15,000. Just don't tell Noah, Mom had said, as if my son would be confused by my generosity for a cousin he desperately wanted. Noah, meanwhile, was just tolerated. They forgot his 5th birthday, then showed up a day late with a gas station cake and a card that said grandson with my nephew's name crossed out and Noah scribbled in. One Christmas, everyone had matching stockings on the mantle, my sister's kids, my brother's girls. No stocking for Noah, Mom said. Couldn't find one that matched the set. I kept telling him, they love you, buddy, they're just distracted. I told myself the same thing. It was easier than admitting my parents treated my son like he was on a trial period. 2 years ago, Dad fell off a ladder. Broke his hip. He recovered, but the doctor quietly told me he shouldn't really be doing stairs. That house isn't great for aging. That's when I got the idea for the dream house. A bigger place, ground floor bedroom for them, enough space for Monica and Ethan later, in a newer neighborhood, closer to Noah's school. I ran the numbers. If I put down $380,000, they could handle the mortgage. Title in my name, life estate for them. Clean paperwork. I told myself it was an investment and a gift. They cried when I told them. Mom called it a miracle. Dad actually hugged me. Monica whispered, "You're the best big brother in the world." We spent 3 months house hunting. My mom stopped complaining about her old kitchen, too busy sending me photos of huge islands and walk-in pantries. What they didn't stop doing was forgetting my kid. They took all the grandkids to Disney World. Except Noah. The excuse? Custody. It's just so hard, honey, Mom said. I offered to rearrange my week, pay for Noah's ticket, his room. They went without him anyway. Came back, handed him a generic Mickey mug. We thought of you the whole time. Sure. When Monica's pregnancy finally took, the group chat exploded. Ultrasound pictures, nursery inspo, baby name polls. They asked my sister's kids what they thought, had them write letters to the baby. Noah was at dinner one night, chewing his chicken slowly, waiting for his turn. Mom turned to him. "Oh, sweetie, you can just sign on to one of theirs." All of this, somehow, I swallowed. Because that's what I do. I buffer. I rationalize. I tell myself, they're old school. They'll get better when the baby's here. Right up until that stupid invitation arrived. Thick cardstock, pale pink watercolor flowers, Monica's name in gold script. And at the bottom, in smaller letters, gifts, $5,000 minimum, please. Let's bless baby girl the way she deserves. I actually laughed out loud. I thought it was a joke, some influencer thing. Then Mom called. "So," she said, too casually, "did you see the note?" "Yeah," I said. "That was a joke, right?" Silence. "Daryl," she sighed, "you know how much Monica and Ethan have been through. This baby is a miracle. We want to make sure she comes into the world set up. You want people to wire $5,000 for attending a shower? People who can," she said. "We don't expect that from everyone." She didn't have to say just for me. "And you sent that to the whole guest list?" I asked. "Coworkers, church people, they'll understand," she said quickly. "It's family. It's love." It wasn't love. It was a shakedown wrapped in pastel font. I thought about saying no. I drafted a text, I'll bring something thoughtful, but I'm not participating in a $5,000 cover charge. Then I pictured Noah's face if we didn't go. He'd been carrying the ultrasound picture in his backpack, called the baby bean, talked about reading bedtime stories. So, I made a different plan. I bought a stack of onesies, bottles, a stuffed elephant. Normal gifts. Sensible. I put the Target card in the envelope, because I knew Mom would make sure everyone knew if I showed up with nothing. And I told myself the same lie again, asterisk if they show you they're willing to treat Noah right at the shower, you still go through with the house. If they don't, you don't, asterisk I didn't tell them that second part. They'd already been punishing me for the one time I did say no. Last year, Ethan asked me to co-sign a $250,000 loan. I told him he was overleveraged. You're a lawyer, he snapped. You should know paperwork doesn't mean everything. Paperwork means exactly everything, I'd said. He stormed out. 3 days later, Mom called to tell me I'd changed since the divorce and money made me cold. Ever since, it had been little jabs, snide comments about my car, my condo. The baby shower was the culmination of all of it. A room full of people they wanted as witnesses. A chance to remind everyone that I was the walking wallet, and my kid was just extra. So, when Mom told Noah he wasn't part of the real cousin crew, something in me just stopped. I watched him sit there, empty spot on the table, while other kids squealed over glitter pens. I watched Monica take the crocheted blanket from him with a distracted, "Oh, how sweet," then set it behind the punch bowl like it was a napkin. I watched Mom make her speech about some people not valuing family, waving that $50 card like a prop. And it finally clicked. It wasn't about the card. It wasn't about the $5,000. It wasn't even about the house. It was about the fact that my parents were perfectly comfortable building their future on my money, while making it painfully clear my kid was never going to be fully welcome in that future. They wanted my bank account. They did not want my son. That was the last straw. Not the missing gift bag, not the ridiculous invitation, not even the Disney trip. It was the look on Noah's face when my mother used me as an example of someone who doesn't value family, right in front of him. He didn't ask if I was hurt. He asked if he had done something wrong. I don't remember standing up. I just remember suddenly being in the hallway outside the banquet room, my heart pounding, my phone heavy in my hand. "Dad," Noah's voice echoed in my head. Did mine get moved? I opened the banking app. The account was labeled Family Home Fund. 6 years of careful saving, bonuses, saying no to things I actually wanted. The scheduled wire, $380,000, due to hit Monday morning. Destination, Clear Creek title and escrow. Property address, a 5-bedroom Craftsman with a wraparound porch that my mother had already called her last house. We hadn't closed yet. We were in the inspection period. Paperwork drafted, but nothing finalized. As the only buyer on the contract, I had the right to walk away. "Hey, man. You okay?" My younger brother, Jason, had followed me out. He's 39, works construction, not a saint, but usually neutral. "I'm fine," I said, which we both knew was a lie. "That thing Mom said," he rubbed the back of his neck. "That was messed up." "And the bag thing?" "I told her Noah should have one, by the way." "Did you?" "Yeah. She said she didn't want to confuse the dynamic, whatever that means." "Of course she did." I looked at my brother. "If I pull out of the house, they'll blame you." He snorted. "They already blame me for everything. I'll live." I nodded once. Then I tapped Manage Transfer. A little menu slid up. Asterisk edit. Pause. Cancel asterisk my thumb hovered over pause. Safer. Reversible. I chose cancel. A warning popped up. "Are you sure you want to cancel this scheduled transfer?" "Yes." Confirm. Another screen, asterisk transfer cancelled. Confirmation hashtag 8843C, asterisk I took a screenshot. My hands were steady. Then I swiped to my contacts and called Tanya, the realtor. She picked up on the second ring. Hey, Daryl, ready for final walkthrough dates? Not exactly, I said, keeping my voice even. We need to hit pause on 72 fairway. Silence. Pause how? I'm withdrawing my offer, I said. Within my rights under the inspection contingency. I'll email you formally tonight, but I wanted you to know now so you can let the sellers start showing it again. She exhaled. Can I ask why? Family situation changed, I said. And I'm not comfortable moving forward. This is my decision, not negotiable. You understand your parents and your sister will hear this from me, she asked gently. They've been calling about their house. I understand, I said. That's why I'm calling you and not waiting until Monday. Okay, she said slowly. I'll call them in a bit. I'll send the withdrawal form to your email. Thanks, Tanya. I hung up. Her message came in. I signed the digital form with my finger, hit submit, and watched the confirmation screen slide across. It felt quiet. Not triumphant, just very, very clear. When I walked back into the banquet room, Mom was in the middle of some game where people guessed baby food flavors. The tension from earlier had mostly smoothed over. People were laughing again. Noah glanced up when he saw me. His eyes were shiny, like he'd been close to crying but hadn't. I sat down next to him. You doing okay, buddy? He shrugged. Can I give the baby my blanket later? Maybe when she's born? Maybe Aunt Monica will like it more then. You did a great job on it, I said. It deserves better than this party. He leaned into my shoulder. I like ours better anyway, he whispered. When it's just us. My throat tightened. Me, too. 20 minutes later, Monica's phone started blaring, her realtor ringtone. She frowned, picked it up. Hey, Tanya, she chirped. We're at the shower. Her face changed mid-sentence. The color drained. She stood up so fast her chair scraped against the floor. What do you mean he withdrew? She said, her voice going sharp. What? No. No. That can't. No. The money is for my brother. The house is for my parents and me. He can't just. He did what? Every conversation in the room trailed off. My mother set down her plastic glass very carefully. What's wrong? She demanded. Monica turned, her eyes locking onto me like I'd set a fire. You canceled the down payment, she hissed. Daryl, what did you do? A hush dropped over the tables. Even the kids got quiet. I stood up. My heart wasn't racing anymore. It was weirdly steady. I canceled a gift, I said. One I hadn't actually given yet. Mom shot out of her chair. That was our house, she said, her voice shaking. Our retirement. The plan. You promised. I nodded. I did. And then today, you stood in front of my son and used me as an example of someone who doesn't value family. Because I brought a $50 gift card instead of a down payment disguised as a baby present. Her mouth opened and closed. And before that, I added, glancing at the kids' table, you made sure every real cousin got a gift bag except my kid, again. People were staring at her now, not me. It's not about the card, I said quietly. It's about the fact that you want my money more than you want my son. And I'm done paying for that. I grabbed my coat from the back of my chair. Noah, let's go. He stood up fast, clutching his blanket. As we walked toward the door, my mom called after us. You're going to blow up your family over a toy bag and a misunderstanding, she shouted, her voice a tantrum. I turned back just long enough to answer. I'm not blowing anything up, I said. I'm just not buying you a house you don't deserve. Then we left. The text messages started before we even hit the highway. From Mom, you embarrassed us in front of everyone. You humiliated your sister while she's pregnant. You're punishing an unborn baby, Daryl asterisk from dad, which was rare, asterisk grow up. You made a commitment. Men keep their word asterisk from Monica, asterisk how dare you use the house to control us. You don't get to yank it away because you're mad for 5 minutes, asterisk I put my phone face down in the cup holder. Noah stared out the window, clutching the blanket. Dad, he said finally. Grandma's mad at you, huh? Yeah, I said. She is. Because of me? His voice wobbled. Because I didn't have a bag? My chest hurt. No, I said. Because of her. Because she forgot how to treat you. That's on her, not you. He was quiet for a second. Are we still getting the house with the porch swing? No, I said honestly. We're not. He thought about that. I like our house, he said. The porch is small, but the neighbor's dog can reach my hand from their yard. I smiled at the windshield. Then we'll keep our small porch. That night, after Noah went to bed, I sat at the kitchen table and typed one group text to my parents and Monica. Asterisk I'm not your backup bank. The down payment is off the table permanently. I won't fund a family my son isn't part of. Please don't contact me unless it's to apologize to him, asterisk then I put their thread on mute. The next day at the office, my assistant poked her head into my doorway. There's a woman at reception asking for you. Says she's your mother. I sighed. Tell her I'm with a client. I wasn't. I just didn't trust myself not to lose the calm tone I was clinging to. A few minutes later, my office phone rang. It was the front desk. She says she's not leaving until you talk to her, the receptionist whispered. Do you want security, too? Yes, I said. Please, politely. By the time I left that evening, the lobby was empty. No dramatic scenes. Just a note in my email from building security saying, per your request, guest was asked to leave and complied. At home, Noah was doing math homework. He looked up when I walked in. Grandma came by, he said. She knocked. I didn't open the door. Miss Johnson saw her from across the hall and came out. She said you weren't home. He pointed to the counter. Grandma left a bag on the doorknob. Inside was one of the leftover Cousin Crew shirts, still folded, and a gift bag identical to the others. The tag said Noah. The shirt was the wrong size. There was a note tucked inside, asterisk you're making this bigger than it is. We love Noah, but you can't expect us to treat him the same when he's not really around as much. Please put the house back. We've already told everyone asterisk I put everything back in the bag and dropped it straight into the trash can. A week passed. Then word got around the family. My aunt called, trying to check on me, but accidentally let slip that my parents were telling people my ex-wife had turned me against them. Monica posted vague Instagram stories about toxic relatives and money manipulators. My brother Jason came over one Sunday with a pizza and a six-pack. You know they lost their earnest money when you pulled out, right? He said, sitting on my couch. I offered to cover it, I said. Tanya told them I'd eat it. They told her they'd sue me. He laughed. I have the email. Jason grew serious. For what it's worth, I'm glad you did it. I've been watching them treat Noah like a visitor for years. I should have said something sooner. You did today, I said. He shrugged and tossed Noah a slice of pizza. Hey, kiddo. You still got that Switch? I'm ready to get destroyed in Mario Kart. Noah lit up for the first time in days. We didn't talk about the house again that night. Months went by. My parents didn't buy another place. The market moved on. The house on Fairway went under contract with some young couple and their toddler. According to Tanya, Mom sent a long email around Easter. Half apology, half demand. There was a line in it that summed everything up, asterisk we're family. You're supposed to help us, asterisk I stared at the screen for a long time. Then I hit delete. I wasn't cruel. I sent birthday cards. I let Noah answer calls from them if he wanted to, supervised, short calls. But I didn't uncancel the house. I didn't offer a smaller version. I didn't send more money. The dream house stayed a dream for them. For us, something else started to take shape. On the weekend we should have been helping them move, the date circled on the calendar with closing, written in my mom's handwriting. Noah and I spent Saturday painting an accent wall in his bedroom. He talked me into a deep navy blue. I'd been hesitant, worried it would make the room dark, but once it dried, it looked good. Grown up. His choice. We spread an old sheet on the floor. He had on one of my t-shirts, sleeves hanging past his elbows. There was paint on his cheek, in his hair. "Do you miss them?" he asked at one point, rolling the paint carefully. "Grandma and Grandpa?" I thought about it. "I miss who they were when I was your age," I said. "I don't really miss who they're being right now." He nodded like that made sense. "Do you miss the big house?" he added. I looked around at his small, messy room, books stacked sideways, Lego builds on the dresser, the crocheted baby blanket folded at the end of his bed now, because he decided the baby didn't need it as much. "No," I said. "I think this is exactly where we're supposed to be." That afternoon, Jason showed up with his 2 kids and a grocery bag full of snacks. "We're hijacking your Saturday," he announced. Cousins insisted. His daughter handed Noah a handmade card that said official cousin crew with all their names written inside, including his. "We made our own club," she said. "Grandma doesn't get to pick who's in it." We ordered takeout, dragged chairs from the dining room, and crowded around my small table. There were 2 empty chairs I'd left at the end, out of habit, like maybe my parents would walk in. They didn't. Noah laughed so hard at something Jason said that soda came out of his nose. The kids took turns falling off the beanbag. Someone started a Nerf war in the hallway. It was loud and chaotic and imperfect, but no one forgot his name. No one asked if he really counted. Later that night, after everyone left and the house was finally quiet, I walked past the trash can in the kitchen. The old shower bag was still at the bottom, under new layers of coffee grounds and junk mail. For the first time, I didn't feel a twist of guilt about it. They'd made their choice years ago, in 100 small ways. I'd finally made mine. I can't give my parents a dream house. I can't fix whatever part of them decided my kid was optional. But I can give my son something better than a porch swing and a big kitchen. I can give him a life where he never has to stand at a table, looking for his name, and wonder if he belongs. And I don't need $380,000 or their approval to do that.